Meanwhile, amid the ongoing feud between India and Canada, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met U.S. Secretary Antony Blinken in Washington, D.C. Jaishankar arrived in Washington from New York after addressing the 78th General Assembly session of the UNGA on Tuesday. The two met and discussed ways to further bilateral relations between the two countries.
It's a pleasure to welcome my friend and colleague, Foreign Minister Jaishankar, here to the State Department, back to Washington. We've had very good discussions over the last weeks, of course, at the G20, in New York at the General Assembly, and I'm looking forward to pursuing them this afternoon.
Thank you, Tony. Good to be back here, and we, of course, had the Prime Minister here this summer. We thank the US for all the support at the G20 summit, and I actually look forward to seeing you in Delhi for the 2+2.
Now, while the meeting between the two top diplomats was scheduled much before the Canadian crisis broke out, the US has been urging India to cooperate in the Canadian investigation into the killing of Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia earlier this year, which we've been closely tracking here on WION. Now, the meeting came just hours after Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that he was sure that Blinken would raise the murder of a Sikh separatist leader with his Indian counterpart. That is when the two leaders meet. Trudeau had earlier accused India of having a hand in Nijjar's killing in Canada. The allegations touched off a diplomatic crisis within the two countries, expelling diplomats and India then suspending visas to the Canadians. Now, this comes as hackers calling themselves the Indian Cyber Force have claimed to have targeted the Canadian Armed Forces official website. The group, which does not have any formal links to New Delhi, claimed on Telegram that it had taken down the website. Reports say that the group had posted a message hinting at the cyber job a week prior to the hacking attempt. And these are according to the experts. The cyber attack, according to experts, is believed to be a distributed denial of service, or DDoS assault, which are aimed at sending a message to the Canadian government. The head of media relations at the Department of National Defence told Canadian media that the disruption started around noon on Wednesday, before it was rectified later in the day. The Canadian forces, which represent all military operations for Canada, including the Navy Special Command Groups, Air Force and Space operations, are investigating the issue.